Get $3 off every order at PlayAsia by using the code Censored.
Hello everyone, Tom from Censored Gaming here. Forbes recently sat down and interviewed the director of Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, Kōshi Nakanishi, and asked some interesting questions regarding its development, including why its Japanese release was censored, and whether this was a usual practice for games that have both Japanese and Western releases. You may recall how we recently covered Resident Evil 7's Japanese censorship, and how many instances of violence had to be changed. There was already a confirmed censored version released in Japan, this being a lower rated release, only coming with Japan's 0D rating. However, Censored Gaming discovered that even the max rated grotesque version had to have several changes made to the game's violence. One especially notable edit was the removal of the decapitated head in the fridge, and how, in Japan, this was replaced with a photograph. Why were these changes made though? After all, the game was assigned the max rating by the Japanese rating system, meaning its sale is prohibited for anyone under the age of 18. Nakanishi explains this in detail. To quote, "Ratings are different per region, and amongst them, Japan tends to be on the stricter side. Even with previous installments, there was a difference between the Western and Japanese versions of those games. To be frank, it can sometimes be a challenge during development. When we think of a specific scene, thoughts such as, it will be difficult to deal with ratings, or let's make a milder scene start creeping in. When we started development on Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, we wanted to move forward without such concerns creeping into our mind." Nakanishi is correct on there being differences between the Western and Japanese releases of other games in the franchise. Resident Evil 2, for example, had its violent death animations obscured by darkness in Japan. The ability to blow off enemies' heads, or have your own chopped off by a chainsaw-wielding enemy, was removed completely from the Japanese release of Resident Evil 4. Furthermore, later games such as Resident Evil 6 have also seen censorship, with one notable edit being the change of certain camera angles to obscure violence. But, as the game's director explained, despite the strict censorship that games face over in Japan, the developers tried not to worry about this too much, and just make the best game they could. This helps explain why this Japanese game was so different in its country of origin. As always, Censored Gaming is here to keep you up to date on not just the censorship we see in the West, but worldwide. Censored Gaming will be sure to keep you up informed of any new Japanese censorship developments. I've been Tom from Censored Gaming. Thank you for watching.